Hey guys, now I will show you how to set up a presentation, specifically the sermon and or the welcome, like who's doing what. So first off, let's just go ahead and go into Planning Center. Let's look at the week we're trying to program for, which this will be next week, June 12th. We have all of our songs, all the order and everything, and currently we have Chris as our welcome. So again, that's just a single person. So in this welcome queue here, we're going to click this one, but we don't want it to be Ridge. We're going to edit. We are going to click on his name, then double click, select all of them, which is Command A, and then we're just going to do in all caps, Chris Roop. Same thing. Click the bottom one. You can also kind of select them over here. I'm just going to select all of them in Command A, and Chris Roop is the multiplication pastor. And that's really it. So now, since these are editable, like text, that'll automatically show up on the confidence monitor. If it didn't, if we needed, if this was an image, like it won't read Lifepointe, but if you wanted to see Lifepointe, you'd have to put it in the slide notes down here, which is here. We don't want that though. That'll be confusing. This is editable, so we're just going to leave it here. The Propresenter can see this text. So there we go. There's our welcome for next week. If it happened to be two people, we would right click, enable this one, disable this one, and then we could edit each individual person as we see fit there. I'm going to undo this, all of those, because I still need Ridge for the week before. Our welcome is a running, like it's a production element, so it is a running element through every week. So there's that. And then let's say you wanted to drag in a slide that is similar to like Try 5, but let's say you're talking about the current series. Well, I host all of our content on an external drive called LC1. We go to Pro 7 Slides, Money Talks, and let's say you want to talk about this, and so we're gonna. This is just the landing slide, right, for the current series. You would drag this from Finder straight into Propresenter, kind of in between a slide, because it'll make it a kind of think of it as a background. And so now that's going to go on the LED wall, and you can check because that's what the LED wall looks like. We don't need that, but that's how you would do that. Same thing for the welcome here with ways to give. This lower third is an image. All we did was we drug an image into it. So again, it's a lower third. This will look a little wonky, but let's say it's that landing slide. We wouldn't do this, but now our video switcher will see both of these. Now, we don't really want that because, of course, that looks not how we want it, but that's the difference is when you're actually like editing the slide, when you right click and hit edit or click edit up here, this stuff is what the video switcher sees. It doesn't see this background. This background here is not editable. So again, there's your closing down at the bottom. We would do the same deal. The closing is a separate element, so we can change it. Maybe next week it'll be Nate instead of, or it'll be Chris closing as well as welcoming. So to do the sermon, what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate the sermon from last week. So we're going to go up to our libraries, go to sermons, scroll down to the bottom. They are labeled by month too, kind of in numerical order. Money Talks, week 1. Let's just go ahead and duplicate that. You can kind of double click on it or right click and then rename. And use your arrow keys. This is Money Talks, week 2. And let's change the date. It'll be the 12th. And then we're going to take this one. We're going to drag it into the playlist. The playlist is a group of presentations. A library is actually like different kinds of presentations, if that makes sense. We kind of organize it that way. Presentation or a playlist just is a running list of different elements that we've already built. So we can then drag this kind of between the welcome and closing, go off of Planning Center. And then the things I like to keep are the landing slide. So I'm holding Command. It'll be blue. I like to keep a landing slide. I like to keep the lower third, just like we did in the welcome and closing. And I will keep one more landing slide. And so the other way to do this is Command A, and then now deselect using Command all the other ones, right click, delete, and now you can easily just copy and paste what you need. I'm going to redo that one more time, and I'm going to save one lower third as well, just so we can use it as an example. Delete. So now if I'm setting up this presentation, well, I guess I will go ahead and delete it. Let's say I'm setting this presentation up in Finder. I will go to LC1, Pro 7 slides, Money Talks. These are the series and or standalone stuff. Week 1 for the 12th, it'll actually be week 2. You would download that from Dropbox. Now we're going to go our main screen slides. They look kind of wonky. I'm just going to grab all the slides that have content, which is all of these ones. And I just held shift. You can do this individually. You can do with all of them, whatever. Drag them over here. I'm going to apply all and write over since we already have them in a different presentation. This should be good to go here. All right. This really shouldn't be taking that long, but I might be asking a lot of the computer right now. There we go. So you'll see here that it dropped all the slides in, and it was in the order because they were already labeled from when we got them, slide 1, slide 2, slide 3. So then to set this up, you would go to the first one where if it has content here, you're going to want a lower third. So all I'm going to do is right click, edit. Again, this is a background, so it's not editable. You can keep this or delete it, doesn't matter. You can just click backspace on it. In Finder, I'm going to go back to my lower thirds, the LT. This is slide 1. I know it is also by the way it looks. It says the same thing. Here's a little fun hack for the new Mac updates. So if you preview it you click on it and then click space, it'll open it just in a preview window. If you Command A, it'll actually highlight, Command All essentially, it'll highlight all the text in it. You Command C, you can copy that. Now first we're going to go ahead and drag this over, right over. I'm going to line it up exactly how we need it. Right in the window you'll see because all the lines kind of looks like a window pane, the yellow lines. And then I'm going to paste in the slide notes what it said, what we copied, because it can't read off of an image. However, the notes are set to go to the confidence monitor. And there you go, impulse buying. Let's do it again for a longer one. So don't neglect building the kingdom of God. This is slide 4. So I'm going to go to slide 4, and it's the same again. So I clicked space bar, previews it, Command A, highlights all of it, Command C. We're going to drag it in, right over. Let's line it up and paste. And then you want to check it just to make sure because it's not perfect, but you can edit it however you'd like. But then you can see here, if I go back to show, when I click impulse buying and we look at what's on the confidence monitor, see impulse buying. Now you see here, it doesn't read it because we haven't put anything in the notes. But on this one, we put it in the notes. And so now it reads it. It sees the lower third going to the video switcher, and it sees the LED wall content as the background. So that's what you need to do. You import all the background slides by dragging them just into our normal slideshow. You right click, edit the slide, find whatever slide you're on. We can do the second one here. Find the lower third for it. So this is slide 2. Preview it, copy all the text, drag the slide over, line the slide up, and then paste it there. Again, double check it just in case. Sometimes there's grammatical things, or depending on the weird, like if the font is really weird, we won't figure it out. But that's all you got to do. And now you're good to go. The reason I saved the landing slide was because it was already formatted, and now we can command click on it, right? Or again, you can always just right click, that'll turn it blue. Right click, copy. Now, if you read through whoever the communicator's notes are, if you know there's a big space in between these, you can again right click or command click to make it blue and then paste it. And now you have a buffer slide in between, right? On the confidence monitor, it shows the current slide and then nothing here. And then it shows what's coming up next and then the current slide again. And you'll just want to do that in between any slide where you see a big space. You're going to command click it by clicking command and holding it. Or I'm sorry, clicking command and then clicking on the slide and then command V to paste it. Whatever is blue, when it's highlighted blue, it'll paste right after that slide. And that's how we set these up, and we do it for every single one. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete all the way up to where we had it, and this will be ready to do this next week.